Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, your friendly perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella, Kate's daughter, representing all the women who are nowhere near perimenopause but want to understand it better.
Whether you're just starting your perimenopause journey, deep into it, or you're a loved one trying to support someone who is, we've got you covered.
We'll be answering all of your burning questions, exploring the ups and downs, and sharing expert advice and personal insights.
So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's dive into the wonderful, sometimes wild, world of perimenopause together.
And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are not alone.
Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause. My darlings, and welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor. I'm a perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella Grosvenor, Kate's daughter, here to learn with you all.
I actually forgot to say that last week, and you reminded me at the end. I was like, oh, well, that's really helpful. Oopsies.
They know who we are.
I know, and brain fog, it's just to show you that brain fog is real.
We're not making it up. It's not a myth.
We're not gaslighting you. Brain fog is actually a thing. I think this is one of the lovely things about going through perimenopause. It affects so many of us in so many glorious ways, and yes, the struggle is real.
It is. It is.
The struggle was real this morning. I had one of those weeks this week where I've just worked every single day for various reasons, just because I was catching up, because obviously Rowan went to uni last week, so I was catching up on all the stuff, and then this morning I was like, nope. I was like Garfield. Do you remember the old Garfield cartoons when he couldn't get out of bed?
The older you get, the more you relate to Garfield, right?
I know. Lasagna and coffee and
he hates Mondays. Like, I get it.
No, I love Mondays. No, I love... Come on, we love what we do.
I like what I do, but just Monday. I think we're wired to not like Mondays.
No, I like all days.
All right.
I'm sorry. I love what I do. Rude. She works for me. What is she saying?
It's not... Message? It's just a Monday. It's like the weekend's finished and we're just not supposed to like Mondays, so...
It's not like you've got a massive commute.
Neither does Garfield.
This is also true.
It's just a thing.
Do you ever think, do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah, to an extent, yeah, because I look at some animals and I'm like, you know too much.
Lupin.
Yeah, he knows way too much.
So we have this guy called Lupin. Right, we're going off on a tangent. This is early in the podcast. We have a cat called Lupin. He's a Russian grey. And he's like the dude, right? We love Lupin. Lupin is gorgeous, and he just knows things. He's human.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In another life he was. He knows too much.
I want to come back as a cat.
I'd love to. I like a golden retriever with a nice family. That would be fun.
I'm just a happy dog. I'm just a happy dog.
Because dogs smile as well. Cats smile. They do smile, so they know too much.
I know. Okay, should we carry on with the podcast?
Yes, it is episode 17.
Oh,
we didn't say that as well.
Yeah, did I say 16?
Anyway, no, you didn't say which one it was, but it's 17, guys.
I thought I did at the beginning. Anyway, hey-ho, episode 17. What is the question, my darling?
Okay, I know I say this every week. I do.
But you love this question. Go on then.
No, but this one touched my soul. And I'm really looking forward. I want to know your answer, so I'm really glad that this one got submitted. A little bit, but it's really good. Like, I'm really sorry, but like these questions that you guys submit on WhatsApp are like, they're it.
They're gold, are they?
They really are. They really, and I struggle picking between which one.
Sorry.
Concentrate, mother.
Sorry. Squirrel.
So it's from Samantha.
Hey, Samantha.
From Exeter.
I was brought up in Exeter for 4 years.
Oh, yeah, you were.
Yes.
I forgot. No, I think it's brilliant that they also tell us where they're from. I really like it. It is. So, Samantha, this is a bit of a long one. Samantha's from Exeter, and her and her best friend have always done everything together. Cute. They've known each other since primary school. They went to school together, They got married the same year, and even had kids around the same years.
Cute.
So very close. They shared basically all of life experiences together. Now Samantha's going through perimenopause, and her best friend is just not understanding her and says she can't relate to her, and she thinks she's being overreacting with her symptoms. Is her best friend gaslighting her?
Okay.
Or can their experiences really be so different? Juicy. Do you know what I mean now?
Juicy question. I like this one.
Yep.
Oh gosh, layers. It's like an ogre. An onion. There's layers.
There's layers.
There's layers to this one. Okay, so... Oh, good question. Oh, I like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's start off with some statistics.
Okay.
Because I like a statistic. Statistically, 85% of women show perimenopausal symptoms. So straight off the bat, Samantha, your best friend could be one of the 15%, one of the lucky guys I mean women, ladies, not guys, because that would be weird. One of the lucky few that it just sails through perimenopause. So one of the things I say a lot, so we do obviously TikTok lives, we do in our membership, we do live Q&As, and we're all, you know, we're always saying we're not in the same boat, but we're all in the same sea. And we're actually not all in the same sea. 85% of us are in the same sea. The other 15% are on the beach having, you know, minding their own business. You know, eating an ice cream, reading a book, you know, and carrying on with life. So we're not all actually in the same sea. 85% of us are in the same sea. The other 15% are minding their business. So straight off the bat, Samantha, your friend could be one of those guys. Now, the other thing is, if we look at the evidence, whenever the Shit FM starts, so Shit FM is what, as you know, is the radio station in your head that plays crap to you all day long. Whenever you've got that negative thinking cycle, the first thing you have to do is look at the evidence. This is your best friend. You've been through everything that life has to offer you. You've been through all life's experiences together. Why would she suddenly, at the age of, I presume, 40-something, start gaslighting you? Yeah. Really? Like, wouldn't she also want to share this with you? Yeah. You've shared everything. Literally. You've shared boys and periods and boobs and straight knees and wedding jitters and, you know, the whole shebang. Why would she not want to share this with you? She would if she understood it. Yeah. Yeah. Statistically. So if we look at the evidence, so always look at the evidence, and if you can't find the evidence, brain dump it, write it down on paper. So whenever you think, is that true or am I making it up? Don't let your brain figure it out, because your brain will muddle it, because our brain can have a battle of its own in there. Get it down on paper, brain dump it, just write a conscious thought on even a blank piece of paper. You don't have to buy a fancy brain dump journal, but you can just literally brain dump it down. Yeah. And just look at the evidence. Is this true? What is the evidence to support my theory that she's gaslighting me? What is the evidence to support... I mean,
she says she's overreacting, so I think that's where maybe the confusion of gaslighting...
That's where the hurt feelings comes in. So, when you feel like someone is not supporting you or supporting your emotions, what you need to say is you need to have a kind of brave conversation with them where you set boundaries. So these are what we call difficult boundary conversations in the life coaching world. And when you're having difficult boundary conversations, what you need to do is talk about your feelings and talk about, this is a little bit coachy for a second, bear with me. You need to talk about your feelings and their observable behaviours. Yeah. Okay? Because their observable behaviours are not up for debate. Yeah. Because they're observable. Okay? And your feelings are not for them to have an opinion on, because they're your feelings. How you feel. Yeah. Okay? So if you talk about your feelings and their observable behaviours, neither of those can be argued about, because they're both facts. Or they're both your feelings, which are your business, and observable behaviours, which are fact. So if you say, for example, when you tell me that I am overreacting, it makes me feel this.
And it doesn't come across as you, because then anyone's going to get defensive.
Pointy, figgy, judgy, ooh, in your face. And in that way, and then if you can give an alternative, it would really make me feel that feelings here, if you could perhaps do alternative instead. And in that way, what you're doing is you're giving them a solution. You're not belittling them, condescending them, being aggressive towards them. Yeah. Okay, so they're more likely to be open. Yeah. So you could say, for example, hey, let's call her Debbie.
Yeah, she didn't say.
Don't know what her name is. Hi, Debbie. When you tell me I'm overreacting, it really hurts my feelings. If you could maybe just listen to me instead, it would really help me just to vent what I'm going through, and I would feel like I'm being listened to.
No one can take that to offence, or
where would be the offence in that? Okay, and also if you can understand, so that's what you need from her. From your side, if you can understand, because the thing is, if you feel like somebody's gaslighting you, if you feel like somebody's either in denial or they're gaslighting you or they're blaming you or they're... Because if you, for example, like today, I didn't wake up early. I had a bit of a self-care morning, right? And I said to you, I worked late last night, I've worked late every night this week, I'm having a self-care morning. If you turn around to me and went, what's your problem? What's your problem? I thought, what do you mean you worked late last night? No, you didn't. You finished at 9:30. What's late about that? Went, so what are you saying? Just because you work... wait a minute, you worked until 9 o'clock on Wednesday night and you finished at 9:30 on Tuesday night, and oh what, so you worked until 9 o'clock on Monday? That's late night. Really? Don't you think you're just doing a bit pathetic? If you'd have talked to me like that, you'd have made me feel what kind of a way?
Down and
I'd have started second guessing myself. I might have started feeling guilty. I might have started feeling like nobody understands me.
You might have got angry with me.
I might have got angry with you. I might have felt guilty myself, and I would have started feeling some kind of way, and my emotions would have got heightened. And I would have internalized some of them guilt. I would have externalized some of them anger
on me.
And what then happens is we then start to feel like we're angry, and we start to then we do start to overreact in inverted commas. We do then start to raise our voices. We have heightened emotions, and then it becomes almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because then you're like, well, back at somebody.
I didn't react like that, by the way.
No,
just
she no, you take time for you. I'll bring you something to eat in bed, and you relax. So it was lovely. But are you with me?
Yeah, of course.
So what's happening? So from your side, you need to say, she's not, genuinely she doesn't understand, so help her to understand rather than presume that she's just trying to gaslight you. And the overreaction might be because you're presuming she's trying to gaslight you. Does that make sense? So it might be your reaction to what she's saying that she's saying you're overreacting to rather than your symptoms.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And they've been best friends for ever and ever. Like, it's not... She's not going to, like you said, she's not going to suddenly be wanting to attack her or gaslight her.
Presumably. Now we don't know, is there something else going on with her friend?
True.
Now, maybe her friend, we don't know, maybe her friend's actually going through perimenopause, could be in denial, could be having a whole host of mental health symptoms that she doesn't know about. She's not willing to admit to.
Maybe she's not feeling the physical, but just the mental.
Do you know? So statistically, this plot thickens. I said it was like onions and ogres. It has layers. Do you know statistically, you're more likely to go in at 40 years old. Again, I don't know how old Samantha is, or her friend.
They shouldn't state.
We know they're the same age because they went to primary school together. Or school together. But statistically, you're more likely to go into a GP surgery at the age of 40 and be given antidepressants than HRT.
No, why?
Because you're more likely to be diagnosed with depression than you are perimenopause.
Based on what symptoms?
Based on the fact that you go in and you say you're feeling down and you're lacking energy and you're feeling disconnected from your feelings and you're feeling like you're lacking motivation and you can't get out of bed and you've
What's that going to do, though?
That's going to do very little because statistically, again, a very common antidepressant you'll be given is to boost your serotonin, and herein lies the problem. Because quite a lot of the antidepressants for serotonin might be spread out the amount of serotonin that you have. Now, in perimenopause, as you may have heard me say quite often, serotonin is produced, well, everyone's serotonin, 90% of it's produced in the gut. In perimenopause, quite often you have problems with your gut. You get bloated, you get diarrhea, you get constipation, all kinds of things going on in your gut. If your gut's out of whack, and you're not producing enough serotonin, does it really matter how far you stretch it out? It's like, well, it's so thin anyway. What you need to be doing is working on your gut health and working on reducing your stress. That's going to have a much better effect on your mental health than prescribing an antidepressant that's all it's going to do is stretch out the amount of serotonin you actually have. You need to work on creating more of it and learning mental health techniques. I'm not saying stop your antidepressants. Please, okay, before anybody does that, I am not saying stop your antidepressants. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it would make much more sense to help women replacing the hormones that they need, helping them sort out their gut health, which is more likely to help them create more serotonin, giving them techniques to help produce their stress so that they help with their gut health, and it helps to reduce the stress which detracts from their happiness.
I'm really shocked. Is it just like a quick fix so they get out of the office? Or
well, it's what they're taught to do a lot in healthcare. Antidepressants are pretty much one of the top 5 medicines that are prescribed to
I didn't know GPs could just do that. I thought you'd need like another evaluation and further this for you. I didn't know you could get...
You know, when I talk about being addicted to prescriptions in 2016, the biggest one was antidepressants. Because I went in complaining of low mood and saying I was really upset, I was you know, I'd lost my, I mean, it was basically because I was mentally unwell after going through all this, you know, domestic violence and all this control and all this stuff. And I was working up to getting this divorce and stuff. And I needed some mental health work, which I didn't admit to at the time. And
they didn't help you either.
No, they just gave me antidepressants. And that just made me sleep.
Yeah.
And then because I slept in the day, I couldn't sleep at night. So then they gave me sleeping pills.
So they just wanted you to sleep all day, every day,
yeah,
or what?
So that's what I did. I just slept. And then because I couldn't do anything else, I then ate.
Yeah.
So that's when I got addicted to the, you know, that's when I just ate sugar all day.
Yeah.
So I basically woke up, took the girls to school, came back, went back to sleep because I was so tired because I hadn't slept at night time because I had the sleeping pills which sent me to sleep but didn't keep me asleep. Then I ate sugar all the time when I was awake up. Then I was wired. Yeah. Took the girls to school, came back, went to sleep again.
I knew all of this obviously going on because I was there, but I didn't know it. How it, the pieces that were put together,
and antidepressants. And then the painkillers because I was asleep all day and I was gaining more and more and more weight, so I wasn't walking or moving. So my back got more and more in pain. So then I had all the heavy duty prescription painkillers. So it's painkillers,
which do make you sleep as well.
Yeah.
Like.
So it's painkillers, sleeping pills, and antidepressants.
Yeah, that's
all adding up together. And that's
don't know how you're ever awake.
Well, I was a zombie, darling.
Yeah, Jesus.
Do you not remember the pictures?
Not that I remember you, but I don't remember the pictures.
But it's like all the black circles under my eyes and all the rashy skin and the bloating and all that.
Because I remember the doctors wanted to prescribe me antidepressants, and you were like, no, do not take that. You're too young. You don't need it. Let's focus on other things.
But it was because I wanted to teach you coping mechanisms. Yeah. If I truly thought that that's what you needed, if I truly thought that that was the solution, I would have gone, listen, okay. But I knew that what you were going through was something that we could help you with. And, you know, and you do the things that you go for your mental health walks and you vent and you talk things through. And that was much more important than taking a tablet for you at that time because it's giving you coping mechanisms to go through it.
I'm shocked that that's what the GPs do for women in this.
Yeah. So instead of looking at my hormones, instead of thinking about why was I going through what I was going through, they never asked me what I was going through. They never once said to me, "Are you going through anything? Is there something going on in your life? Is there something?" They literally started me on antidepressants.
So they went, and wrote the prescription. Yeah, guys, do better. What is that? Because I see that some of the comments about women just saying that they just got prescribed antidepressants that it's making them feel worse.
It's a 10-minute appointment, and you walk out with a prescription for antidepressants. That was the problem. So when we talk about, go back to the topic in hand. When we talk about Samantha's friend, we don't know, is she going through something mentally and not having the physical side effects? Maybe she's going through the mental side effects. We don't know. At which point she could be so low that she's resenting her friend that she doesn't know it. I mean, it might not be at all. She might just be going, "Oh, go on, get a grip." She might just not understand that anybody's going through it.
And sometimes when you're really going through it, it's hard to hear what other people are going through and listening to what everyone else, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, there is that as well. So, like, if I'm going through what seems to me like the end of the world, if I'm going through, like, this massive depression or I'm going through, like, really bad anxiety and you come to me and you're going, "I'm having hot flashes," I'd be like, "Oh,
yeah.
You know,
what do you know?
What do you know about life?" You know, if I'm mentally really exhausted. So we don't know. That could be, again.
So they just really need a chat.
They need to have a really honest chat and you know, have cards on the table. So, you know, Grandpa, this is my dad.
Yeah, my grandpa.
Her grandpa, my father. His work was as a criminal psychologist. And so one of his roles was to go into prisons and to decide whether the person that was accused of a crime, what their mens rea was. And mens rea is Latin for, like, the mental state behind the crime. So when you commit a crime, there's two things. There's the action itself, right? And then there's the intention behind the action, the mental state of the person behind the action. So, for example, murder is premeditated. So in order to commit murder, it's a premeditated act. So you have to plan it. You have to know what you're doing
and have the intention.
To commit murder, right? So the difference in murder and manslaughter is one is premeditated and intentional, and one was basically like an accident. Right. Very simplified, but that's basically it. So with your friend, I think you both need to go into a conversation presuming good intent. This is your best friend. This is somebody that you've loved and known and
decades.
And if you both go into a conversation with the idea that you both want the best for each other. Like, you both love and care for each other deeply, and both go into that conversation presuming good intent, then it lowers both of your like defenses for a start.
Yeah.
But it lowers both of your heart rates. You know, when we presume ill intent, our shackles go up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we automatically start doing this.
Yeah.
We convey to the other person that we're protecting ourselves and we're going in for a fight.
Does that person pick up on it if we don't say anything?
100%. Yeah. Because a lot of what we convey to the other person is non-verbal. So if you're in there and I'm already like this, like I'm pursing my lips and I've got a scowl, and you automatically know this is not going to be good. Like, I don't want to talk to this person. But if I'm in there, if I've got my palms open and relaxed and they're on my knees and I've got a smile on my face, you're like, okay, she's open and she's listening to what I'm going to say.
This is real psychology.
But it's true, right? It's true. It shows you that I'm open, I'm relaxed, I'm willing. You can approach me. And we need to pay attention to these things because friendships can be made or broken at any point. They're almost, I don't want to say they're more important than romantic relationships, but they can certainly go on a lot longer.
Yeah. I did see this post recently that this girl said to her friend, your boyfriend might not be at your wedding, but I definitely will.
Yeah.
So
true story.
And it's yeah.
And it's sometimes like when you and your sisters fall out. My daughters, obviously, I have 3 of them. Sometimes I have to say, you know that you love each other. Go in there with good intentions.
Yeah.
Go and try and mend it with good intentions because you all love each other. You're incredibly different, the 3 of you.
Could not be more different, I don't think. Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to, you'll hear me often say, presume good intent.
Yeah.
And sort it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to do that. You just have to presume the intentions were good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier though with sisters to presume that than outside people, I think.
But surely, if we have the conversation about if you've known somebody since primary school, let's presume both women. Again, we don't know how old Samantha and her friend are, who's now called Debbie in my eyes, but I don't know what her name is. Samantha and Debbie.
It'd be amazing if her name was Debbie.
Tell us what her name is. But if we presume that Samantha and Debbie are in their 40s, they've known each other for decades.
Yeah, at least 3.
Are they not sisters?
Yeah.
Almost?
Yeah, my best friend, I've been friends with her 13 years and she's like a sister to me. Never mind 30 years.
More than that, isn't it?
13 this year.
Is it only?
We were 11.
Really?
Yeah, went through periods together. That's why I really related to her question.
Yeah, it's like periods, scraped knees, boys,
boobs,
like the whole shebang. Right, and it's a lot, and those friends you don't replace easily.
No,
you don't let go of that kind of history easily. So it's worth trying. And as I said, have those conversations where you talk about your feelings and their behaviors that you can see, so that it doesn't come across as really judgy. And also, if you can give her an idea of your symptoms and learn language together. Maybe we did a podcast, didn't we, about
I've got all the episodes up.
Yeah, let me know what number it was and maybe listen to it together.
Which one?
The one about relationships where we talked about
communication tips. 4, episode 4.
Yeah. So maybe have a listen to that one together, episode 4, where we talk about communication tips. Because although it's not a married couple, it still applies because one person is going through it and one person isn't going through it.
Yeah.
So you still need to learn to communicate through a barrier.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Are you with me?
Because it's still type of relationship.
It's still a relationship and there's still a barrier there.
I like that. That's good advice.
And one last layer we need to go through.
I would copy the Scottish accent back, but I'm really
really bad at it anyway, so my other half's Scottish, but he'd kill me if he listens to this one. He doesn't. He finds it kind of slightly annoying, slightly entertaining, and a little bit weird.
I would if someone tried to speak English like an Egyptian person. It'd be funny, but it's a bit like, no, you don't know what you're talking. No, you don't get it.
But although when you speak Arabic, it's cute. Anyhow, so one more layer. Her friend may not be going through the perimenopause.
Yeah, because we don't actually know how old they are.
We don't know how old they are.
Yeah.
So you may be going through the perimenopause, and your friend may go through it any years from now, 6 months from now. She may be late onset.
Yeah, that's true.
So we don't know. Some women will go through it. So the average age is 51 for women in the UK. For women of colour, it can be slightly earlier, so 49.
Why?
Just is. It just is.
Mm.
And perimenopause can be 7 to 10 years. It can be 7 to 15 years at this point. So, you could start let's say at 35, 38, 40, 42, 45, noticing the changes. Because perimenopause is essentially when your body starts noticing that the estrogen's leaving your body and that you start having symptoms. Okay? So you could start noticing it, I mean, most generally women start noticing it around 40. So you could be 41, 42 and start noticing it.
Yeah.
Your best friend could start noticing it at 47, 48.
Oh, yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
So she could just turn around and get like slammed in the face with it in 2 years from now. So that's another thing to
and then
watch
she'll
out
really
for.
need you,
and
Samantha,
then she'll
at that
need
point.
You, Samantha. So hey ho, that's another thing to watch out for. And you can say that to her. Say, listen, you may not have symptoms now, but you may be having symptoms later on.
Yeah.
So she may not be going through it, but she may absolutely need you in a few months from now because...
Yeah. You haven't struggled with that, though, with friends, have you? Explaining your symptoms in that sense, the perimenopausal ones.
Just trying to think who... Well, not to be funny, but most of my friends listen to the podcast and my videos and stuff. And if my friends had an issue understanding perimenopause, there'd be something a bit wrong because most of my friends listen to the podcast, watch my videos, have my book, and are all my own age.
My friends won't understand perimenopause.
No, but you've made most of them watch the bit podcast anyway.
Yeah, almost all of them. All my friends in Egypt, and I'm going to go in a few months and I'm taking all their phones again and being like, have you downloaded this one? Have you downloaded that one? Come on, guys.
I know, and the boys as well.
Literally, they're mostly boys.
Bless them.
Oh, I love it. I think it's great that they're listening to it and they want to... some of them really genuinely listen to it and send me messages and they want to educate themselves because they know that their mom's going through it and their future wives will go through it. So
that's it.
It's cute.
We're educating the world one man at a time.
Mm.
And if every woman educated one man, by the time your daughters get there,
they'll all get it.
They'll all know.
Yeah, because boys are they understand the periods a bit better.
They're getting better because our generation and the generation underneath me are educating their sons.
Mm.
So
and schools are educating boys now as well because it wasn't a thing before.
No, but it still needs some work. We have a responsibility to teach men so that they know.
Maybe my generation, like of sons and daughters, they'd really understand it.
Oh, I mean the girls. I mean Jenna and Rowan have zero qualms about talking to boys in detail.
You shouldn't.
But I mean, yeah. No, I'll tell you. This is one of those after the podcast finishes. I think there's something called too much information, and I think that just about hits the mark. So as always, we hope you've enjoyed this episode, my darlings. Any questions? Feel free to use the WhatsApp number. Feel free to ask us questions in the Facebook group, which is Perimenopause with Kate Grosvenor. We will see you in there, and we will see you next week. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week. Speak very kindly to yourselves. Love on yourselves because that's always important. Take care and we will see you next week. Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring.
Don't forget, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, you can reach out through our Perimenopause group or on WhatsApp.
For more information on my coaching, perimenopause supplements, books or upcoming events, please visit www.kategrosvenor.com.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate and review our podcast. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you.
Until next time, remember, perimenopause doesn't have to be complicated. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Stay uncomplicated.